Hello and welcome to a new series. At least I think I want to make it into a series of good old games. Games that I played in the past and that are actually quite good games, but well, by today's standards slightly outdated. And with a bit of tricks you can still play them on Windows 10. I wanted to start off with Shera's Lighthouse because that was a game that always stayed in my mind after I played it many years ago, and now I want to try it again. I managed to make it run on the Windows 10 and I'll start with it. It is a point and click adventure inspired on the Myst series, and well, it's a bit of a horror detective story, so let's see what happens. Well, that was an intriguing intro. So we are gonna find out what that was all about. At the moment we are in a house here, and in the distance you see a lighthouse, and the name of the game is Point and Click. So I can click on this picture and then I can see it. What I also see, there is a phone here and it has an answering machine. Let's listen what's on there.
Hello, dear. It's your mother. It seems like we never hear from you anymore. Well, don't worry. Your father and I are fine. And honey, when you get tired of living in that damp, chilly house, your room at home is still waiting for you. Oh, and make sure you're taking your vitamins and using that nice umbrella Aunt Selma gave you last Christmas. Okay? I love you. Bye.
Thanks, Ma, that was very nice of you.
Remember me? Your editor? You're not answering your calls, are you? I'm getting tired of talking to a machine. I thought you'd be home writing, but apparently you're not. You know, I can't send out that advance until I actually see some of that story you're working on. Call me back.
Ooh, that was not a pleasant call.
This is Jeremiah Crick. Something has happened. Something horrible. I have to leave immediately. I don't know how long I'll be gone. Amanda is here at the lighthouse. I don't want to leave her alone. Please come right away. If you don't hear from me soon, it will mean that I have failed. And then... Oh God, I just can't think of that now. There is no time. I have no choice. Please, you're the only one who can help me. Come now.
Oh, that sounds urgent, and this is about the baby we saw at the lighthouse, so we better hurry up. But let's first find out what's all in this place. We might need some of it. There's a journal here, which contains many pages. If you really want to read it, I suggest playing the game yourself. I'm not gonna do that, because it's taking way too much time. So I will just concentrate on the interactive bits here. There's a Zippo lighter. Let's take that one. You never know when that comes on handy. Let's see what's in here. All sorts of stuff. And keys. That might be useful. There is a bag where we can store all our items in, which currently are at the bottom of the screen here, but there will be more than fit, and then they will appear in here. And that is the umbrella my mother was talking about. Now every time this lighthouse cursor lights up, the game is playing in a movie, so you have to wait for that to finish. So a lightning strike just hit the lighthouse now. And the thing we're gonna have to do now is go over there. We've got a pair of keys and we can use that on this car. Now then, we have come at the lighthouse, and let's see what's going on here. First there is a US mailbox. Let's see something in there. There is a letter in here, but when I click it I can't read it, so I probably need something else for that. Hopefully there's something to be found inside. Now let's first see if we can open the door. Somebody in there? Can't open the door. Now sometimes people hide keys under flower pots, and let's see if that happens here. Ooh, yeah, and there is one. But there is a bit more to it. There must be another key here, but let's first find out what's going on inside. Now we have the key. Let's go inside. Open the door. Let's see what happens. Oh my god, that must be Amanda. She's crying, but I can't see anything here, so we have to restore power first. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to find the fuse box and see if we can restore power. For that we need another key that has been hiding here in this lantern, which conveniently I already knew, because otherwise we would be sitting here for me figuring that out. So that's part of the attraction of this game. You have to figure all sorts of things out just by trying it. And here there are the levers that control the electricity switches. Let's flick them so we have power inside. Now this one doesn't want to go. I do think that it has to do with the fact that this is the one that controls the light for the lighthouse itself. It just doesn't want to go. So let's go in there now. And now we have light. Now then, let's see if we can find where Amanda is. Or should we go... No, we need to first have to look through the place here. Here is the study. And in this study there is a dresser with all sorts of stuff in it we need to take. First of all, we found a letter opener in here, which we can use to open the letter that we found in the letterbox outside. So I'm using it now. And it says, Sydney, something urgent has arisen and I must leave immediately. In the event anything should happen to my person, please see that Amanda receives my last will and testament. You will find it in a safe in my study. Sincerely, Dr. Jeremiah Crick. And there is a code underneath it which says 51828. And then let's see what's more in here. Some letters.
July 1st, 4 p.m. I have just returned from the other side. As on the previous test run, the portal stayed open for almost an hour, convincing me that my most recent modifications to the power modulation tube were successful. On this last trip, I extended my explorations, following the path until I came to a tall building some distance down the rocky coast. Approaching the tower, I was surprised to hear a voice call to me from a high window. I looked up to see a man waving excitedly. To my surprise, I could understand his speech. He invited me to come up at once.
And there is a second page.
Thus, I made the acquaintance of another inhabitant in what I have come to think of as a parallel world. The eccentric old man turned out to be an inventor of strange animated contraptions. We sat in his workshop surrounded by mechanical odds and ends. His talk rambled from subject to subject in a disjointed manner I could not entirely follow. Several times he mentioned a dark being whom he feared and warned me about in gibbered, broken words. I believe it is the creature from the beach. Much of his rambling I was unable to comprehend. As I prepared to return to the portal, he suddenly began rooting among an assortment of gadgetry. After a few moments, the inventor revealed an intricate decorative box. To my surprise, he pressed it upon me with the utmost urgency.
So there is talk here of an inventor who makes strange animated contraptions. That guy mentioned a dark being, which he is afraid of, and there is a box.
The inventor is obviously deranged, though his inventions indicate genius as well. His strange behavior made me fear for my safety. I felt a sudden, urgent desire to return to the portal, and so, thanking him for his gift, I departed. The return to this world was uneventful, but I am troubled. Just what was the inventor trying to tell me? I have examined the box closely and have opened 2 of its inner panels, but I am unable to continue further.
So there is talk of a box, and there is a box here, and that's sitting here. And let's see if we can interact with this box, because there are some panels on it. And that reveals a puzzle, some kind of puzzle game. And I've tried this many times to open it. It probably hides some very important information about the mystery we're trying to solve. But the trouble is, I cannot open it. And so did the guy who wrote the letter. He couldn't open it as well. So let's hope it's not important and we can move on without having trouble with that. We opened the letter, we tried the box. There was talk of a safe, and there is a safe in this place. It's been hiding behind all these books, and that contained his last will and testament. Now the code says 5/18/28, and I've tried it many times, but I think this safe is kinda glitched. So I will try and do it once more, see if it works this time. I put it to 5. And then we move this to 18, and that one should then go to 28, and then, oh, that was one too many, and then I should just be able to open it, but I click the handle, nothing happens. I know from another video I saw on YouTube there is nothing of real importance in it, but I tried it anyway. Now in this shelf here there are all sorts of objects. Most of them, when you click, nothing happens, but some of them, and this is a metal bird, we can take, and there are some seashells we can take, and that's about it for this place. Now let's see if we can find Amanda, because she was crying when we came in here. Oh, there's Amanda, and she's in her crib. Now I know there is an important piece of object here on the floor. It's Amanda's toy we'll be needing later, so I'll pick that up right now so I won't forget it. Well, nothing seems to be wrong with Amanda. She's joyful. Now there are more letters here to be read. Let's do that.
May 11, 3 p.m. Today I opened the gate and was about to begin modifications when a figure suddenly appeared on the other side. It was bipedal and roughly shaped and sized like a man, though impossibly thin, with long limbs. I was startled and prepared to shut down the device, but the creature made no move toward me, just peered curiously, first at the portal and then at myself. Its eyes were small and intelligent, almost mischievous, but there was no malice in them. We stared at each other for as long as a minute. Then it turned and loped out of my view. This visitation confirms a growing suspicion that I have discovered some kind of parallel universe, for the creature is of a species not to be found upon this earth.
Now that's the dark being there is talk of.
May 19, 11 a.m. Today, the creature returned. He approached the portal cautiously, sniffed it, then reached out with a finger as black and gnarled as a burnt twig. Testing the limits of his boldness, I beckoned him to come over. In a single bound, the creature was through the portal. He crouched before me, looking like nothing so much as a giant spider. I noticed strange geometric tattoos on his chest and upper arms. I watched him carefully for the duration of his visit, but all he did was peer inquisitively at the equipment. Twice, when a particular device caught his interest, he glanced at me, as if asking a question. His behavior almost made me laugh, as his furrowed black brow and tapering fingers made me think of a monkey. exploring a new cage.
Now there's talk of this dark being and a portal, so
When
what
the
does that
energy
mean?
levels approached instability, I coughed once to get the creature's attention and pointed to the portal. Apparently understanding my meaning, he took one last look around the laboratory, then went to the portal and stepped through. I just had time to see him safely on the other side before the power supply collapsed and the lights went out.
Now then, that's quite interesting. Let's see if there is some other stuff we can find in this place. There is a clock here we need to take. And this is the living room. This is the woman that there was talk of in the picture. I think that is the mother of Amanda. And there is on this side is a bookcase which also hides some stuff we need. That's a compass. I've got a compass now that we can use if needed. Now this is stuff that you all have to figure out by pointing and clicking on all objects in this game. I'm not going to do that because I just know what is important and what's not. I know in the fridge there is a bottle and that can be used to calm Amanda if she starts crying. But at the moment she's calm, which is a bit surprising to me because the last time I played it she was crying constantly. Now there is a door here and it has a code, but whatever I try here, even if I try the code, I was just talking about Amanda not crying. There she starts. We better check on her. Ah, now that was the guy that was talk of. He went through the portal and he took Amanda. Oh my god, we better go after her. What I'm gonna try and do now is follow this guy through the portal and see where we end up. Well, first of all, we're gonna end up in another room. Oh, there's the guy. He hits us on the face. And then we wake up at the other side of the portal in the parallel universe. And this place, with this beach and sand and rocks and sea, looks very familiar if you ever played the Myst series, because that had the same kind of vibe and was made the same way. So now we are gonna have to look around to see if there is any clues, indications, things we can pick up. I know there is something here that needs to be picked up, but it's a bit hard to get at sometimes because you need to click exactly the right places. At the moment I just can't seem to find the right position, so bear with me. Needs to be... you should be able to go through here, yes, and then go down here, and then here is an item. That's the one I was looking for. We don't know yet what this is for, but that will be shown later in the Let's Play. I'm not gonna play the entire game. It can be beaten in about 2 hours, I noticed. Somebody else did that on YouTube, but I'm not gonna play the entire game. It's just too much. Now what I'm trying to get is back to where we came from, but I'm having a bit of an issue navigating, as you can see. I may have to edit this out. I don't want to look stupid. Oh, there it is. Already found where to go. Now there is a bottle here and it has something in it. A message in a bottle. And if I click it, the cork flips out and the message comes out. This is not being read to us by the narrator, so I will read it myself. We're sinking. Our ship struck the rocks with great force and there has been an explosion. We are in thick fog somewhere south of the temple. Somehow we are off course. We were making for Martin's Roost when we struck this uncharted reef. Our last known position was 20 degrees north and 180 degrees west. Help us if you can, but I fear our end is near. Well, that's a disturbing message. I don't think we're gonna find out in this part that I'm playing what that is all about, because that will take a lot more hours. I do know there are some pebbles on the beach that will be crucially important later on in the game. And there in the distance there is another tower which looks a bit like a lighthouse, so I think I will try and get there. But on the way I'll try to pick up as many rocks as I can, because I know we're gonna need them. Now then, we're close to the older tower or lighthouse. I better save it again, because I just know it will be a difficult part to play here. So we might have to rely on the save. Now that this is another puzzle just to get in. There is a drawbridge, and at first the drawbridge has to come down, but how are you gonna do this? Now if you click on several objects here, you find out that if you click on this one, that's the puzzle part of this game, which I thankfully already figured out. We can use this lever we found, and that is going to give us access to a control rod. And this control rod now can move this hook, and the idea is that you move the hook along the right path, just so we can attach it to this hook, pull it up, and then the drawbridge will open. So let me commence with that. It's going to take a bit of time because I can move it only slightly bits all the time, so I have to move it, the lever several times. Shouldn't take too long because I already have played this part. I'm going the wrong direction now, by the way. One last bit down and we're almost there. And the only thing we have to do now is move to the left. And if I move up now, I can get the mechanism to engage that lowers the drawbridge. Now, I said before, this game can be beaten in 2 hours, but if you have to figure all this out first, you have to count more than that. Now then that we are in the tower, let's see what we can do here and find out what's going on here. There is a door here, let's open it and see what's inside. Oh my god, it looks like a metal bird. A birdman, but out of metal. What is he doing? Oh, he's pulling a lever, locking himself in. Now then, we have to go and enter this place, I know that, because I've played this game before. So we need to find a way to get past this birdman. And we will try and get entrance to the tower from this place first. When I click on the gate, this other mechanical bird lands here. And he doesn't want to let me pass, because if I click on it, it will attack me. Like this. And that then means we can't get past him that way. And there is a clock here on the wall, and that can be used to distract the bird and make him go away. For that we need Amanda's toy, which has a key. It's all puzzling, this game, but that's the way it works with these kind of games. You need this mechanical bird that we found in the lighthouse, and for that we need the key. We can charge this bird up, and then we can make this bird enter the clock, because every decent clock has a singing bird. Now then, when I click the counterweight here, bird comes out. That apparently distracts or shies off this other metal bird, so now we can go past this point and get through the gate. Now then that we have passed this metal bird here, we can investigate the tower a bit better. But the other bird man, the big one, and there he is still on the loose. We need to prevent him from getting in there, so that's the first priority we have. We have to close the gate. And for that we need a key, and the key is in this drawer here. I'm gonna pick that up, and then I will, if I can get past the dead man, we will pay attention to him later, no worries about that. Gonna have to close the gate, and then we have to lock it. That's the way to keep the big metal bird man out. So now we have time to loot this place and look for other items of interest we need to take. There is a kind of screw that's in here we're gonna have to take. In this drawer there are drawings of the birdman himself, various. So apparently these are the ones that he uses to has been using to build this guy. And there is another key in here. We'll pick that up, because that key will give us access to this drawer up here. And in there is another item that will be used later in the game. So this is a lot of figuring out, of course, with these type of games. It can take you hours and hours to do that. But I've already figured out how to do most of it. I have to move some pots here, because in here is a light bulb and we need that. And for some reason this pot doesn't want to go up the shelf. Yeah, it does. Now then, I will have to move this to the side, and then I can get at the light bulb, which is now part of our inventory. And to the left of it there is a case with scrolls, and it has some writings on it. I'll read it. My birdman has gone insane. He will no longer obey me. I believe he has been corrupted by the dark being. I should not have let him into the tower. I think it has discovered our plan. I will send a hawk to warn the priests. I have given the crystal bottle to the doctor from the other world. I trust him, and the creature will not think to look there. So that's all mysterious talk, which of course is part of this game, and you will figure out later in the game what it's all about. I'm trapped here by my creation. Oh, that's the one I already read. No, he will not leave me to he will not leave me the tower. He tries to get in while I sleep. It's a bit difficult to read this Cyrillic script, these letters, these Gothic letters. I hear him flapping outside the windows at all hours. I don't know how long I can keep him out. I'm exhausted and running out of food. The priests have not arrived or responded to my message. So I think that were all the scrolls that were to be read here. Oh, there's another one. And it says, I have met a man from another world. He says it's like ours, but in different time, or maybe another place of existence. My studies have taught me these things can be possible, but he may be mad. We talked for a brief time in the tower. He is an inventor like myself. I was curious to know more, but he quickly grew nervous and anxious to leave. He gave me the golden sparrow in case he wants to return. That's all mysterious talk. So now we pay attention to the dead guy here in the chair. And that's probably the guy that wrote the letter, so the inventor is dead already. And he has a necklace, which we're gonna have to take with us as well. And Mr. Birdman is still outside, and he will stay there. Now then, let's go down and visit the other door again, because there is still a room in here. We have not been in here, because that's where our Birdman is hiding. And there is only one way to get in here, and that's use the rocks that we have found on the beach. So I'll throw a pebble at him to distract him. Then I'll pull the lever he uses to open the gate, so we can finally get in here. Now hopefully he's not gonna attack us. Let's see what's gonna happen. See? He tries to escape through the gate, and then the thing to do is to make sure that he cannot get back in here is to close this one as well, and also lock it with the key. So this is the way we keep Birdman out. Now this story continues for a while, and I only wanted to make this Let's Play just to have a bit of fun showing what this game is about. I don't think I will be playing this for a bit longer. I will leave a link in the description with the complete walkthrough of this game, which another guy made and uploaded to YouTube. But for now I will leave it to this. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Let me know if you're interested in more of these good old games. I intend to make another one soon, maybe next week. I don't know if I have time to do that, but at least well, for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in another video, and have a nice day. Okay, bye!